Hello, Alysa, Dillon here. We are going to go through the time audit. This is going to be a major game changer for you. And honestly, this is a requirement in this program. So a lot of times when people enter the Moneymaker Mastermind, I hear that you don't have time. Y'all don't have time. Well, we're going to change that. If you want to create the life that you want, I'm going to ask you to do something super uncomfortable, and I'm going to ask you to start tracking your time. I'm going to ask you to put your money where your mouth is and show me that you don't have time. So we are going to go through what you want your life to look like. We're going to create an ideal week, and we're going to create what looks like our actual week. So step one, you're going to have to log in. You're going to open up this file. You can download it in the link below. And then you're going to do file, and you're going to make a copy of this, right? And you can name it whatever you need to. You can name it whatever your name is, time audit. You could put a date on it. And we're going to get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in this time audit, and I'm actually going to do that because I don't want to make a copy of this. So I'm going to make a copy right here. Let's see. We're going to call it Alyssa's October time audit, right? Let's do this. Make a copy. All right. So here we are. And the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to think about what you want your life to look like. I want you to close your eyes for a few seconds here. And I want you to imagine if I were to create my ideal work week, what would it look like? And maybe you start out with where don't you want to work? And I'm going to tell you guys right now that I don't want to work on Fridays, right? If I do work on Fridays, I want it to be I want it to be a flex day for me, whatever I want to do. I don't want to come into the office. So I am just going to mark off my Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, right? I want to be off. So I am just going to say, just fill them in, right? Let's fill them in. What color should we do? Let's do like this fuchsia color. We're just going to decide that we're off, right? So I'm just going to say I'm off, right? So that only leaves me Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I need to be super productive. So again, this is my ideal dream wish list, right? What do I want my mornings to look like? Well, I know that I get my kids on the bus. I take my time to get ready. And so I come in and I know that I have my team meetings from 9:30 to 10:30 every single day. So during this time, and maybe I'll just put in here like yellow because I know that these are going to be my team meetings. Right? So I'll just put these. So what do you know that you already have, right? And then what do you have to create around this? And so maybe you have some flex time. So like Mondays are my CEO days. So I don't want to do anything on Mondays, right? And I know that I want to be leaving work by 3. So I'm just going to say that Mondays get to be I'm going to call this, I'm going to give myself a green light and ease into my work day. It's where I can do anything I need to do. It's my flex day. It's where I spend a lot of my days doing client fulfillment work. So maybe Tuesdays I will have client fulfillment day. And so maybe I will always schedule some time in for client fulfillment. And maybe we'll make that orange, right? And so you might need, let's say we'll need approximately a couple hours for client fulfillment, right? So let's say 11 to 2:30. That sounds about right? And so I'm also going to say that I need to do some marketing. So I need to do marketing tasks every day. So I'm going to call this my marketing app. I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to do some marketing tasks first thing in the morning, right? So you're going to see here as I build this out, this is just a really good example of what you guys are going to need to build. And I'm going to make that green because that is going to be where I make my money. CEO days are where I make my money, right? Fulfillment. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I need to do sales calls too. Maybe I need some time for sales calls. So maybe I open up a few hours a day for that as well, right? How about we'll do another sheet of green, right? Sales calls. This will be sales calls hours, right? I don't do a ton of sales calls, but when I do, I need to at least have a couple slots available, right? So what do we think? And so I can say that team meetings, this is where I work with my team, my marketing. Oh, I also need to have a time where I can do a live training every week, right? Because you guys know that we have to do a live training every week. So let's say I do those on Wednesdays. So let's schedule in like an hour for that as well, right? Oh, that's a little darker. Okay. So what I've done here to recap is I've given myself some time to do some of my marketing tasks, right? I've given myself some time to do team meetings to work with my team. I've given myself like CEO day. This is the time where I make up time to do anything I need to do, right? Where maybe I need to plan out my marketing. Maybe I need to do some deep work. Maybe I need to focus on some other tasks that I have, right? I may also have maybe a training that I need to go to, right? Do I have any trainings I need to go to? Say I know that I have at 1:00, maybe I have the moneymaker calls, right? So maybe we put those in there, right? This is what, and this is just hypothetical, of course, right? Moneymaker meetings, right? Hypothetical, say they're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, 1 to 2. I think most of them start at noon. Building out what your dream weeks look like. This is time blocking. So we've blocked out some time, right? Where we're going to do specific tasks. We're going to be working on client success and fulfillment. And so this is our time blocking. We have like a CEO day, CEO time that we're doing deep work. So this is for deep work. This is when we're focused on we can be better. How do we be better? How do we be a better CEO for ourselves? This client success and fulfillment. This is where the work that we have to do for our clients. Maybe we have client calls. This is high leverage activities that we need to do for our clients. This is client facing meetings. This is maybe responding to some client emails that our team couldn't help us with, right? This is where we're doing these, right? This is our live training. So these marketing activities, right? Sales calls. So all of this green stuff, like these are needle movers in our business, things that we have to be doing and getting done. We have to take time to do these things so we can move our business forward, right? If our entire schedule was just client success and fulfillment, we're not going to be able to move our company forward. So build out what you think your company, what your day should look like as a CEO, right? And then like, where do you have time built in for you? So for me, I like to dance. I go to dance classes on Mondays. In the mornings, I go for walks. I do that before work, right? And so I also have time scheduled in for myself. And again, I take off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you have a 4-day work week? Do you want a 4-day work week? And so maybe you build this out and maybe you try to build this out in your Google Calendar as well, right? So now you go to Acuity, you go to Calendly, and you set it up so that your clients can only book calls during these times, right? Does that make sense? So now in Calendly, in Acuity, your clients could only book times here. Your sales calls could only be booked here, right? because now you're going to follow this ideal schedule. You're going to quantum leap yourself, and now your team could only book calls here with your Calendly link. Now you follow the calendar that you've just built for yourself, right? So begin to implement this. The next piece of this, so you've built out your dream week. This is what your dream week looks like. That's step one. You build out your dream week. Step two is you actually implement this on your calendar. You put it on your calendar. You take it over to your Google Calendar and you say, this is what my life is going to look like. You take it over to your Acuity or your Calendly scheduler and you block out the times and you say, this is where a client schedules a call with me, and they can only be scheduled during the times I just said, which is 11 to 12:30, from 11 to 12, from 11 to 1:30. Now that's the only times, and that's only on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, right? Now I only take sales calls on these days at these times, right? And honestly, that's only if I can do this because I only have, I have another person who could take sales calls on my team. You may need to open this up a little bit more for now, right? For now, you may have to decide that you'll take sales calls during these times as well, right? Never during your team meetings, but maybe you'll take sales calls during client success and fulfillment and during these sales call times, right? Now that you've decided this, you never schedule anything over your times where you're getting on the moneymaker calls, right? Because that's your time for becoming better as a CEO. That's where you've dedicated to a program. When you've dedicated to a program, when you've invested in yourself, you're not just investing your money, but you're investing your time. So right now, maybe you have to work on Fridays a little bit, right? Keep it off, but say, okay, I want to get there. I want to get towards that, right? So what I want you to do now is I want you to start saying what your actual week looks like. What your actual week looks like. Now you can start doing this. And so I could say, today I started with my team meetings, right? I like how I spelled team there, right? Team meeting. And then I had a friend call. I'm just going to call it what it is. I had a call. We had a catch-up call. And then I worked with my team to set up some ads, right? And so then I would look at this as I'm setting this up, as I'm looking at this, I would start to decide, are these high impact tasks or are these low impact tasks? So now I start judging myself, right? So high impact tasks are going to be green. Low impact tasks, things I shouldn't be involved in, are going to be red. So maybe you're like, I reconciled the bank account. I did a sales call, did a live training, got on a podcast. Okay. Let's see. Margot's Mustard Shop, right? Bookkeeping and transactions for Margot's Mustard. So then I'd start judging. Reconciled bank accounts. No, that's pretty low impact, right? I'm not going to make a big, huge impact by doing that. I'm not going to make a big, huge impact by doing this, right? Sales call? Yeah, that's pretty big right now. For me, that's a big thing. A live training for a community? Yeah, I bet I made a big impact on my community. Got on a podcast? Yes. So I want you to start judging in putting in what your week looks like. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to take so much time, I do so many little tasks, well, maybe you could start by doing some time blocking almost immediately to help yourself a little bit, right? And so maybe during the week, you're like, oh, I'm watching Netflix, right? Is that moving the needle, right? Nope. No, we can make that a big dark red, right? So really start judging yourself here on what you are doing. All right, once you have this done, I would love for you to share it. You could do this. You could have your team members even do this. Ask them to, you can all do this together. You could all share this together. Make this something that you do as a team to support each other, to get clarity and transparency on what everyone's working on and what you're working towards and where projects are going and how you can all support each other. These actual weeks, I would keep doing this for a few weeks, right? See if you can get your time back. See if you can get your time back. I want to ask you guys to see if you can get 20% of your time back by leaning into this strategy, getting to your ideal work week. See if you can get to this. I want to challenge you to do it right now. So who's up for the challenge? Let me know. I would love to help you and support you. And if you're starting to do this and you're getting stuck, well, reach out for help because that's what we're here to do. All right. See you in the next training.